I'm Dave Froehlich. Thanks for watching this CrimeWatch digital exclusive where we take a look back at recent crime stories that have been making headlines in our area and across the state. A family is seeking justice after the shooting death of a 16-year-old in North Austin. That suspect, who's also 16, has a criminal history and is now facing a first-degree murder charge. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has more.
I'm to pieces. How am I going to make it through this? Is this real? Is this a dream? Oh, man. Oh, man.
A mother grappling with loss.
Oh, my God. It's devastating.
Andrea Coleman says on the evening of September 30th, her son, 16-year-old Asan Madison, left the house.
Where did you think he was going?
Walmart.
He was on the way to Walmart. They just came because the bus comes this way.
He made a stop at the Pathways at Northgate Apartments on Northgate Boulevard.
He was coming to simply fight someone who has been bullying him for years.
Madison's parents say he was targeted for his sexuality.
He don't play basketball. He's more free-spirited. He likes arts. He likes different things than the average boy.
He was in the midst of trying to find himself and just going through his emotions and stuff and just trying to figure out where he was going to go with it.
Madison's father says he never got the chance to make that final decision. When he showed up to the complex,
he got shot, and he's so little. In my heart, I knew right then my baby was not going to make it.
My son doesn't have weapons. He didn't even have anything to protect himself.
A memorial now sits where Madison died.
Him and my daughter.
A 16-year-old has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
He knows this guy from like 7th, 8th grade.
Austin police say the suspect has been involved in multiple shootings in the area, including being present during a seemingly random killing of a 21-year-old earlier this year.
During this investigation, I've been investigating several different juveniles, and in my experience, I haven't seen it like this before, but there does seem to be a high amount of violent crime being committed by juveniles in that North Austin area.
The teen police say is responsible for Madison's death was out on probation at the time.
The things that he was doing in the community. He was a menace, and you kept letting him go. How could a judge sign off on that?
The suspect was booked into Gardner Betts Juvenile Center and is going through the juvenile system.
There are certain situations, certain crimes, or if you commit a certain crime at a certain age in Texas, you can be certified and you can move into the adult system and you can be prosecuted in the adult system.
The Travis County District Attorney is legally not allowed to comment on this case as it remains in the juvenile system. Currently, about 4,000 people are in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice prison or parole system who committed their crimes between the ages of 11 and 16.
He murdered my son. Look what he did before that as well. He should never be out of jail ever.
As the family calls for accountability, they mourn the loss of a son, Madison. Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch.
Austin police continue to investigate after a suspected burglar was found dead inside a building in downtown Austin. Police say that man had already tried breaking into a home in the area, but the resident was able to fend him off using pepper spray. Fox 7 Austin's John Krinjak has more on what happened.
APD officers finding the body of a burglary suspect in a downtown office building Sunday night.
It's a crazy story, very scary, yes.
Around 6 p.m., police got a call from a home on 6th Street that had been broken into.
Officers responded. It was a residence where the glass was broken and a suspect attempted to go up the steps. He was confronted by the owners of that residence. He was pepper sprayed.
The suspect fled the scene on foot and ran to an office building on 7th Street between Brazos and San Jacinto. He again broke through the glass window there. Cops were able to track him down using security video and tips from the public.
Got calls from a citizen stating bloody footprints were following throughout the city. Up to this location.
Officers made their way inside, going floor by floor to try and find him.
Making sure that there's no innocent people harmed here. Unfortunately, found him lying on the 12th floor.
Despite efforts to revive him, the man was pronounced dead at the scene.
Whether it was from the glass that he was cut or how that he became deceased is unknown to us.
Security expert Ashley Raymond says the resident who was initially burglarized absolutely did the right thing.
Just knowing how well pepper spray does work, I was really glad that the resident was confident enough to know how to use the pepper spray and to act quickly, right?
Raymond, who heads up Safely Self-Defense here in Austin, says pepper spray can be an important tool in defending your home as well as yourself.
And what happens is when you spray the pepper spray, and it causes an instant reaction to where they're shutting their eyes, they're in a ton of pain, and it lasts anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour.
But it is important to know how to use it. We tried out a device using water.
Okay. Unlock it first.
Okay.
And then you'll aim. So say we're aiming, at this car right here or something.
Yeah.
You'll press down and you'll think eye to eye. So you'll go like that. Perfect.
Eye to eye. Okay. That's easy.
That's easy.
Raymond stresses that when it comes to a potential intruder, every situation is different. Meanwhile, if you have any information on what happened Sunday night, you're urged to give Austin police a call. Reporting downtown, I'm John Krinjak, Fox 7 Austin News.
A man at the center of a double homicide and Amber Alert is now behind bars, charged with capital murder. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has more on what was supposed to be a CPS investigation that's now an investigation into the murder of two people.
Here we have a coward who killed the mother of his children and left 3 children motherless.
Austin police say Shirley Gregorio Machado Hernandez had an active Child Protective Service case against him. A forensic interview was supposed to happen with the child victim today, but Machado is now behind bars and charged with capital murder after police say he killed his common-law wife and her boyfriend.
There was no indication that they had been separated at any point. They were still living together at the same residence.
But she had a new boyfriend.
Correct.
On Monday at around 3:30 in the morning, detectives say Machado pulled up behind Francis Cayona Eswime Corridor and Brian Florentino Flores Alvarez, who were parked at Flores' apartment complex on Burton Drive.
And an individual was observed exiting the vehicle and approaching the passenger side of the white GMC.
About 4 hours later,
APD received a call for 2 deceased people in the parking lot.
Eswime and Flores were shot dead.
It was discovered through the investigation that the victim, the female victim, had 3 children, all of which were unaccounted for. The primary focus of the investigation turned to the well-being of those children, locating them and ensuring their safety. To that end, we checked all addresses on record for the couple, the children, and any other address we could identify that had previous APD involvement for that family.
They say they couldn't find them, and a statewide Amber Alert was sent out.
Within an hour of the Amber Alert going out, family with whom the children were with contacted Austin Police Department to notify them that the children were at 5401 Decker Lane and had been dropped off by Machado.
Detectives say Machado was then picked up by one of his brothers. The car was spotted by an undercover officer as it was pulling into an apartment complex off Wickersham Lane. The brother was then seen getting into a different vehicle, drove to another nearby apartment complex, met up with his other brother, and continued driving.
Undercover officers, with the assistance of APD's Air 1 unit, continued to follow the vehicle until sufficient resources were in place to conduct a stop on it.
Police say the car stopped in a neighborhood and Machado was arrested,
having been found hiding in the back seat of that Kia SUV.
Police say the brother who was driving Machado around could also be facing charges.
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
Austin police are looking for a suspected watch thief. They say in late September, this man stole a gym goer's Rolex out of their locker. Happened at the Lifetime Fitness on 5th Street downtown. We're told the watch is valued at roughly $15,000. If you know who this man is, you're asked to please give APD a call. It's been 2 months since a grand jury decided not to indict a San Marcos police officer in the deadly shooting of 22-year-old Malachi Williams back in April. Now Williams' family is sharing new footage of that night, including surveillance and eyewitness video. Fox 7 Austin's Jenna King has the story, and we do want to warn you, some of the video may be tough to watch.
The family of Malachi Williams demanding justice even after a jury found that the officer was justified in the deadly shooting. Today, the family sharing new never-before-seen footage. Malachi Williams was shot dead by San Marcos police officer Alcides Ventura. It happened the night of April 11th when San Marcos Police Chief Stan Standridge says around 9:30 they received a call about a man threatening two people with two 8-inch kitchen knives. The victims say they were at the Snack Max on East Hopkins Street and began walking home when a man started following them. Soon after,
the suspect then pulled out two knives and threatened both of them.
Police say the victims were able to get inside their home and call 911. When officers responded, they found the suspect back at the convenience store.
Put your hands behind your back.
Video footage shows the officer asking the suspect to place his hands behind his back. The suspect refuses and instead moves toward the officer.
Chief Standridge says the officer went outside and that's when the suspect ran. The officer tried to use a taser twice, but they both failed. Chief Standridge says when the suspect started running with a knife toward people at the HEB on Thorpe Lane, the officer shot him. 22-year-old Malachi Williams was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Williams' family gathering Saturday in San Marcos demanding justice. The event featured speakers from Malachi's family and footage the family says is never before seen, including witness video and footage from outside the convenience store. The first video the family shared is from outside the convenience store. It appears to show an officer pull his gun when Malachi walks out of the convenience store. Malachi then runs away and is shot.
The narrative so far is prior to seeing this was that they couldn't take Malachi, they had to take him outside of the store because it was too dangerous to apprehend him in the store. But it shows that they only wanted to take him outside of the store to intimidate him. We saw several officers outside of the store. We saw one officer pulling his weapon.
The second video is taken after Malachi was shot. It appears to show an officer kick Williams once he's on the ground.
There was basically no rendering of medical aid. There was no compassion, no empathy, no caring. They watched this young man die.
In a press conference, Standridge addressed the rendering of medical aid.
In this particular case, multiple officers arrived and a fire marshal. Thankfully, the fire marshal is also a certified paramedic. So the paramedic was on scene literally in a minute or less and began providing primary aid.
The officer's affidavit states he was worried the suspect was going to harm a civilian. The grand jury declined to indict the officer. We reached out to San Marcos PD for comment on the new video, but have not heard back. Malachi's grandfather tells me he will continue to fight each and every single day. I'm in San Marcos. Jenna King, Fox 7 Austin News.
Texas Rangers are investigating after a driver was shot and killed by police near Fredericksburg. Kerrville police say this started when one of their officers tried to stop a driver for traffic violations. The suspect then sped off on State Highway 16. Chase ended on the outskirts of Fredericksburg when officers used a tire deflation device. The suspect crashed, got out of the vehicle, and charged at a Kerrville officer who shot and killed that suspect. That officer is now on paid leave while the shooting is being investigated. The Austin Public Library is having some security issues with people going through mental health episodes and acting combative. They're getting help from the Travis County Sheriff's Office. Right now, the deputies are only in the Central Library downtown, but Austin Public Library is looking to expand the program to other locations. Here's more from Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shen.
What's supposed to be a quiet place is sometimes not so quiet. At Central Library downtown, you'll notice lots of security staff. Austin Public Library says since the pandemic, there have been more issues with people being combative or using drugs.
Our library staff sometimes have to be the frontline responders to some of the issues that come up in a big city like Austin, issues involving substance abuse or mental health issues.
The library system already has 40 full-time security staff who do rule enforcement, but they needed more help.
But there are situations that arise, and the frequency of them has gone up over the last few years, where we've had to call law enforcement, so having them on site has been helpful.
They started a program with the Travis County Sheriff's Office in July. Why the county and not Austin Police?
It partially was just sort of what was available as we were looking for resources to bring into libraries.
It provides us increased response time when they do escalate, and instead of having to wait for APD, you know how short staffed they are and a lot of things going on.
We've heard about a lot of incidents that have been able to kind of quickly de-escalate or have been able to be handled much more quickly by having these folks here.
The deputies are brought on as temporary employees and paid through the library's general fund. Essentially, they're moving money around, so there's no additional cost to taxpayers. 10 deputies work 4-hour shifts stationed there. It's not overtime for them. Library staff say they also serve as a deterrent.
People see a law enforcement officer, the behavior may change more quickly than it otherwise would with just a librarian or a library security staff.
The Austin Police Department officially has a new chief. Lisa Davis was recently sworn in. She has since been announced as new chief and received her state law enforcement certification. Here's more on this story from Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis.
I, Lisa Davis, do solemnly swear.
A swearing in and pinning ceremony for the new Austin Police Chief, Lisa Davis, although her official day on the job was in early September.
And it has been 5 very full weeks.
Shortly after Chief Davis assumed the top position, the city of Austin hired Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia as an assistant manager overseeing public safety.
He's been there, he knows. And so to be able to go advocate for us to city government that, hey, this is what they need. And so I look at that as just another great thing for me. I mean, it's an opportunity for us to truly move things forward.
Chief Davis came into a department that continues to deal with a staffing shortage. It's allotted about 1,800 positions, but more than 300 are currently vacant.
For context, Cincinnati has 305,000 people where I came from, and it has 1,100 cops. And Austin has almost 1 million people and has 1,800. So there is some, work to do on getting recruiting here, and this contract will help.
The contract includes across-the-board pay raises for Austin police officers. It's set to be voted on by City Council next week. Earlier this month, a Travis County jury found Austin police officer Christopher Taylor guilty of deadly conduct in the 2019 death of Morris Da Silva.
It's unsettling to the officers, it's unsettling to the community. It's a big deal to them, and they want to hear, the support, and they want to hear, how do we move beyond that.
Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza is known for strict prosecution of police. Chief Davis says she's met with him and plans to do so every month.
At the end of the day, are we going to agree on everything? Absolutely not. I mean, it's not going to happen, but we both are state actors. We both work for the state, and we have to come to the table together, and we have to have conversations, and I'll know where he's coming from. He's going to know where I'm coming from, but it's about building that relationship.
She says working together with leadership is key to solving problems within the city.
Chief Davis, we're counting on you to be the leader that can and will help all of our police force be true public servants by building community faith and trust through respect, responsiveness, and open communication.
This isn't on my shoulders alone. This is everybody. Crime is everybody's problem.
Thanks for watching the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. Our Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. If you miss them, you can watch anytime on our new Fox Local Connected TV app. It's free to download. You can watch on multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. Just scroll down from the live player and look for the Crime Watch section. And for more on the stories highlighted in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.